Today on this James the Bike Guy, we're checking out a super light and curated road bike from Specialized. A bike that carries almost no branding and looks sleek and almost like a step from the past, but with technology of the future. So we're gonna go into some of the features and designs of this Specialized Aethos Pro eTap, talk about what the Aethos is all about, go over the part spec that comes on the Pro version, and then of course we'll close it out with exactly what it weighs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's check out this bike. The Specialized Aethos is now in its second year of being in Specialized lineup of road bikes. And this road bike happens to place in somewhere where Specialized really hasn't been in quite a few years. You know, the movement to some of these earth tones and the Roval-like looks have brought the Aethos into creation. So when we talk about where this is, let's check out Specialized lineup. So in their road bike lineup, they have the Specialized Diverge, which is more gravel-oriented, long and adventure rides. They then have their Roubaix, which is a more upright, endurance-fit road bike, great for all-around road use. And then they have their Tarmac, which the Tarmac has some aero benefits and is really focused around being a fast race bike. And that's where this Aethos comes in. So the Aethos is for maybe more of that Tarmac style rider, but doesn't want to look like a crit racer when out on an enjoyable long ride, and somebody who's going to value lightweight and sleek, easy, clean design over the fastest or most stiff bike that's out there. Now, with all that being said, this bike is plenty stiff, it's super light, and it's going to handle really well. But the Aethos is designed around that person that values subtle speed. Think Porsche 911 rather than Lamborghini Huracan. Diving deeper into the Aethos frame, we should talk about where the Pro version is in the lineup. So the Pro version of the Aethos is one down from the very best. And in fact, this frame set takes almost all the cues from the top-end S-Works version. And linked just above in the top right and down in the description is going to be a link to where I did a review of the Aethos S-Works frame set on its own. But the Pro version is going to have the same geometry, same tubing shapes, but instead it's going to be running what Specialized calls their Fact 10R carbon. So the Fact 10R carbon comes in just a little bit heavier than the S-Works variant, but Specialized really spent a whole ton of time to make the Aethos the lightest disc brake production bike that you can get. Now by that, even in this Pro version, the air quote heavier frame, this bike is still going to come in with a 699 gram frame set. Now I haven't gotten a chance to weigh this, but having checked out the S-Works, I can entirely believe that. And how they're getting that done is with that 10R carbon. They also have this tapered head tube going down to their Fact carbon fork. The fork itself, of course, is running through axle as well as direct mount disc brake. Through axle happening in the rear of the bike as well. And you can see from just the cleanliness of the frame, there's very little of excess going on. No extra mounts for things you might not use, nothing like that. And in fact, Specialized says that there's an elimination of lazy fibers. So they basically went through, did a lot of finite element analysis to make sure that they're using carbon only where it's needed and not where it's not. And that's essentially the result of the bike that we have in front of us. Drivetrain wise, this of course is the Pro version, which means we're gonna get some pretty Gucci stuff on here. So drivetrain is courtesy of SRAM using their Force eTap group set. This means it's a totally wireless group set, so wireless shifters going down to a wireless drivetrain. And the eTap drivetrain is pretty unique because it runs a 12-speed rear cassette and a little bit different style of gearing than a traditional 11-speed setup from, say, Shimano. So on the back is the Force eTap rear derailleur. This derailleur, of course, is going to be wirelessly controlled. So you can see without any cables, it's able to move up and down, nothing to be seen there. But the cassette is really where the magic happens. So this is an XD road cassette, and the cassette itself is running a 10 to 33 tooth range on the back end, which 330% range, one of the widest on any road bike. And then going forward is going to be this Force carbon crankset going through a threaded bottom bracket, but with chainring sizes of 48 to 35. So that setup, of course, is a bit different than what you're often used to on a road bike, but it ends up with a little bit higher and a little bit lower gear with several steps in between because of the 12-speed drivetrain to keep the ratios nice and tight. Braking is going to be courtesy of SRAM as well, using their Force direct mount calipers. Now these are 160 millimeter rotors on both the front and the rear, and then that direct mount caliper gives for a nice clean look on the bike. Moving into the cockpit is going to be some nice lightweight fare from Specialized. Starting off with our S-Works shortened shallow reach handlebar. So this is going to be a carbon 31.8 millimeter handlebar. However, the reach, so going from the bar to the shifter, is going to be only 75 millimeters of reach. And then the drop from the top down to the lower of the handlebar is 123 millimeters. Now the neat thing with a short and shallow reach like that is it's going to allow a bit more comfortable position, and then you're going to be running Specialized Pro SL stem. You can see it's a 4-bolt faceplate to it, and I also like how it's got that recess that you can see the carbon steer tube right through the stem. Now going on to the back is of course the Alpinist seat post. This is a 27.2 carbon fiber seat post, which has you perched atop a Specialized Power Expert saddle with titanium rails. Last thing we're going to be rolling into is going to be the wheel and tire setup on this rig. And you'll see it's got the Specialized Alpinist CL rims. So this is a super lightweight carbon fiber front and rear wheel package for the bike. And these have been engineered in Specialized Wind Tunnel, which is their wind tunnel in Morgan Hill, California. And I've got a review that I'll link just above on these wheels as well. But they are insanely light, and they are rolling on top of some Roval straight pull hubs. And those Roval straight pull hubs run DT Swiss 350 internals in the rear, nice sealed bearings both front and rear as well. And they have some Specialized S-Works turbo tires rolling on top of them. So this turbo tire, 700 by 26C, has a little bit extra width over, say, a traditional 25 to give the bike just a bit more comfort and a little bit faster rolling speeds as well. The actual weight of the Specialized Aethos Pro with eTap Force comes in and weighs 16 pounds right on the nose. Thanks for watching this video on the 2022 Specialized Aethos Pro. Go ahead and let me know what you think about this bike. It's a little bit of a unique offering for Specialized. Definitely does away with their bright and loud branding that they often have on their bikes, and I think makes for a super light and super clean look. So leave those down below. Don't forget to subscribe and definitely browse the channel.